What up, y'all? This is day 7 of just getting on the camera and just, getting my thoughts out there. And today's topic is love. I think as I get older, my thoughts and beliefs about love just get solidified even more. They haven't really changed in a sense. Um, I think there was moments where I felt swayed in a different direction, but ultimately it ended up like those situations that I was in just ended up proving my initial belief on love, and that is that it's not what we were sold as kids. And when you're growing up, you get told the Santa Claus is not real, the Tooth Fairy is not real, and what else? Goddamn dragons, whatever it is, are not real. But we never get told that the love that we would see on TV, on movies, books, and just this lie that we were told about how this magical love exists is not real in terms of relationships. And I think as I get older, I just realize how transactional it is. And I think the thing that makes me kind of go crazy is when I talk about this with my friends, they act like it doesn't exist. And that's what makes me really frustrated and makes me feel like I'm questioning my own like sanity, because I'm like, I see the choosing signals when girls approach you, they automatically make a list of height, height, looks, financial status, um, power, money, status, power, whatever it is. And based on that, you get chosen. And it's the same thing for guys. They might look for girls that, whatever attributes that they find attractive in a female and or woman. I know a lot of girls don't like that term, female. And it's just this transactional relationship where there's nothing deeper. And I think, I don't know if it's just like this in America and we have some type of like spiritual death and connection between like man and women and whatever other relationship you might have is dead. But or maybe I'm just getting older and I'm really, coming into terms with reality. A lot of things, like I said, that were sold to us as kids are not what they were sold as. So I'm just, but it makes me really frustrated when I discuss this with my friends and they act like it's not happening. I see that within their relationships too, where the reason they chose this person is just looks, money, status, power, whatever. It's not anything of substance, and it's not to disrespect them, but it's like when you're saying I love you to someone within knowing them for like 3 months, 2 months, maybe a month, it's like, what do you even love? And most of the time these days, the word I love you is not I love you. It's I love what you can do for me, or I love what you can provide for me, you know? And I don't know. I don't know if there's been a solution for this or what, but and I think this also creates a problem where like when it's so transactional, people are so quick to like jump on to the next relationship, or always have their eyes peeled for the better alternative, or better person in line. Especially with social media, we see so many people that we otherwise wouldn't be able to see. In you know in our parents' age, the only people they seen were the people within their town or within their immediate city. But now you can see the reality of some. I'm living in Wisconsin. I can see the reality of someone in Dubai, in Iran, in Thailand, in New York. So it's like we have so much access, and I think social media is supposed to make us social and make us connected, but at the same time, it's creating some type of like distorted reality where people think that there's always something better out there. And yeah, it makes the whole dating scene just insane and soulless. That's what I want to say. It's soulless. There's no soul, there's no connection. It's just, what can you do for me? And you can't do that for me. Let me find someone else that can. And most of the time, people jump from one person to the other. Say, for example, this girl you're with, it has a bad money spending problem. Instead of staying with her and fixing that money spending issue, you leave her and go on to the next girl, and then say that girl is great with her money, but she cheats. So it's like we're jumping from one person to the other, looking for the person that checks all the boxes, but that's never gonna work. That's never gonna work. You're not gonna find. This is not 2K. You can't build your player to your perfect standards. You know, it's better to stay and figure things out. Of course, there's some circumstances where you gotta walk away when it's abusive, when it's cheating, when it's but in most cases, people walk away for no reason or very little reason, because they just think that the grass is greener on the other side. And it's like, and that's what I'm talking about. When there's nothing deeper than the transaction, there's no reason to fight for that love. And I think that's why older generations stayed together for so much longer. It's because they valued each other and they understood that just as I'm imperfect, my partner's imperfect, and I love you regardless of your flaws. And I don't think we have that anymore. I think it's more so, how it's always that what do you bring to the table? And if you don't bring anything to the table, or if you don't bring XYZ to the table, then I'm gone. I'm going to the next table. I'm bringing, someone else is at my table, So I don't know. I don't have a solution for this. I think for right now, in terms of my personal dating life, I think I'm just gonna focus necessarily more on me and try to figure out how I can position myself in life so that I'm not worried financially and I can take care of myself. I think in this society where everyone is almost narcissistic and is me, it forces you to be me, because you can go out there and be the best person you possibly can be to other people and be of service and love people regardless of their flaws. But if the world is not reciprocating, then you become a victim. You become used. So, I don't know, like, you're kind of forced to be a bad person. And you can't even I don't know, you can't even be mad because it's like once you recognize certain things, you just know that it's human nature. So you can't like I know there's a lot of guys that sit and are like, oh, all women are X, Y, and Z, all men are, or girls sit down and all men are this and this and that. It's like they know. I think it's more so that the game is so rigged and like I said, there's a spiritual death in a way, and there's no soul in a way that I think more and more people are recognizing it, and the more people recognize it, the more people just become soulless and you know become more narcissistic. Like how I'm describing myself now, I'm focusing more on me and becoming me, because you can't play fair in a rigged system and expect to win. So like I I can still go out there and be genuine and care for people and which I am going to do, but I'm just saying like I'm not gonna I just can't play fair in a rigged system and expect to win. Um, and I also will not sit here in a victim mindset of these girls are this way, these guys are this way, because that does nothing for me. I understand that it's human nature, and even before social media, I think we were like this in terms of picking the best mate that was going to ensure that our offsprings, grow up big and survive and grow up big and strong. So I think it's always been a transactional situation going on, but maybe it's just like me noticing it now, and I was just naive, and I was living in La La Land, and I wanted it to be something more, but you know, maybe I'm just realizing it now, and I'm late to the party. But yeah, I just don't think love is worth the worth it anymore in a way, you know. And I think my problem mostly is because I was looking for unconditional love, which I know you should not look for unconditional love within relationships, especially romantic ones. Um, and I think my perspective was that I know this person did X, Y, and Z, and but they have their own traumas. They have their own issues, and they're working towards it. They're getting better, and I try to look at the good in people, but I think that only works if it's also if the other person is still in the same mindset as you. you know you can't play fair in a rigged system. But anyways, that's the video for today. I just wanted to get my thoughts out there. This day 7. I'm proud of myself trying to get to day 30, a month of just getting on camera, talking to the camera, getting my thoughts out there. No editing, no cutting. I know I stutter a lot. I know I got my retainers in, so like I got a little bit of a lisp. But I just came from the gym. Okay, it don't look that good on camera, but I just came from the gym, and I just wanted to sit down, get this video out there, and more so just practice getting on camera, expressing my thoughts. as a kid, I've always had stage fright. And as when I was like 13, 14, I used to do YouTube. And I think it was a good avenue for me to express myself. And I kind of lost that ability to talk to the camera and just be comfortable. So I'm trying to get that back slowly by doing these videos and just getting my thoughts out there. So hopefully you enjoyed. Yeah, we're cooked, man. Love is not what it seems, and you know, I'm gonna end this video with a good thought. Maybe I think the pendulum swings really hard in one direction and then it goes back. So I think it'll level itself out maybe, and people will start to wake up and see that they don't want this soulless transactional relationships anymore, and they want something deeper, something more meaningful. And I think it's also caused by how fucked up our economy is right now. Money is tight, so like people are like, if you can't do X, Y, and Z for me, get out, get the fuck on. So I think maybe if the economy gets fixed, if we're able to afford living, then maybe people will have the time or the heart to accept a different type of love, you know. I know I said this is gonna be the end, but another thought that just came in is that in third world countries, a lot of the time, a lot of people are, you see the most religious people in third world countries where there's war, poverty, and just a lot of violence. And, and that's because their immediate reality is so like traumatizing that you can't really be spiritual and be mindful and be present in the reality. And I think that's also the same with love in terms of what's happening right now. You can't really focus on your feelings and express how you choose the partner that makes you feel a certain way and get to know people, and invest when immediate things like financial crises are happening and you need someone that's gonna give you a sense of stability and just finances, and make sure you're straight. So like I said, this is not to blame anybody, not to blame any gender. I think it's just human nature, and we're in a time where we're being tested and we're being pulled in financially we're just being pulled really hard, and I think people are going back to their animalistic or primal instincts to just be self-preserving and pick the best partner that's going to give them the best outcome, whether financially. So even financial stat, whatever it is, that's just going to give them a leg up in life and not really think about feelings too much. And I think, like I said, I want to end with a good note. Hopefully the economy gets fixed and we're able to have the finances, the time, and emotional availability to be able to choose better partners and value true love and intimacy. So that's all I got for y'all today. Hope you guys enjoy. This is day 8, day 7, whatever it is. I'm just proud of myself for getting on here and express my thoughts. And if you want to start a channel, if you want to improve on anything, take it day by day. Write down whatever you want to do and go at it. yeah, that's all I got for y'all.